So I'm heading out to another fish store to check it out. So let's go. Hello, welcome to Aquarium Thoughts. I'm Dave. If you want to follow my journey, hear my thoughts and ideas, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. That way you get notified each time I do a video. Anyways, I'm in my car. I'm about to head to another fish store to check out. It's called Nolan's Aquariums in Santa Ana, California. So let's go ahead and check it out. So I'm inside the business park where Nolan's Aquarium is located, and I'm here to check it out. So let's go. Now this is a small little room that you see when you first walk into Nolan's Aquarium. He has a lot of cichlids and basically a lot of African cichlids. This is one of the tanks that basically it is the first tank that you see right when you walk in the door. It's right on the right hand side, which also explains some of the algae because it is close to the light. You get a lot of sunlight in that tank, so that's going to be unavoidable. Now this, as you're walking straight in, this is a nice beautiful tank. Mainly the fish. As you can see, I'm focusing in on this one. You'll see me do this from time to time where I see a fish I like, and I am going to focus on it because I want to get it on film. You'll see it as this tour goes on. I'm going to do it a number of times. And this right here is walking into a small little room. Hello, I'm here with Nolan, with Nolan's Aquarium right here. I'm doing a little fish store tour of his facility here. What was your motivation to actually open this store here?
My motivation was I've been in the hobby about 20 years. I've gone to different fish stores. I met a lot of different people, and I just enjoy breeding fish, taking care of them. I really like it when someone comes in and they kind of have no idea or they have questions, and I'm able to answer those questions and help them enjoy the hobby a lot more. Here in the showroom is just one little example. I take pride in this room because I like customers to come in. I want them to relax. I want them to get a feel of a tank that they could possibly have in their home, whether it be African cichlids, tetras, discus, pretty much whatever they like. I want them to get ideas, be creative, and just enjoy the hobby.
Now this is the tiny room that I interviewed Nolan in. Like he said, he does have a lot of cichlids, and this is set up on how you would actually have some tanks in your own house. I love the finish on these fish. I really had to video these ones. I just love how they kind of drape down. And of course you have that little lone fish on that side. But it is a pretty small room. But that's how he has this tank set up. There's like 3 different small rooms that he has set up besides the little hallways between them. Now this is the tank with the tetras that he was pointing out. You have, I'm not quite sure on what kind those are, sorry. Leave comments in below if you know what fish these are. I really forget the name of these tetras. Bloodfins maybe? I'm not quite sure on that. I don't think they're bloodfins though. But you do have some, you have a zebra denio. I know that's a zebra denio in the back. You have some corydoras kind of just floating in the middle there. But this is where basically a list of what's in the tank, the stock. I didn't see any of the Dr. Knight Rams in there, but I did notice he actually had some Epistogrammas in there. So I definitely had to go back in there and actually see where they were. I actually did notice one hanging out in the back corner, which is what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to focus in on that Epistogramma in the back corner. What I did fail to recognize was that there was a couple in the middle of the tank which were easy to film, which I'm going towards right now. So as you can see, younger looking Epistogrammas, definitely not as large as Frank is. I want to say those are probably Cockatoides, but there's supposed to be Agassiziais in there too, but I'm not quite seeing those. But definitely correct me if I'm wrong on those. Of course, there's another tank right here with, of course, some angelfish and some roseline sharks and more fish. But that's going to be common in a fish store, of course.
Now, one other question is, basically this is in a business complex. Was there a particular reason why you chose this place?
We wanted to get the most space for our dollar. I personally wanted to do something a little bit different. I know a lot of places are in warehouses. Our shop here is kind of in different rooms, so to speak. So this, I feel, will give somebody more of an environment of aquarium that they would have in their home. But being in a warehouse like this is just a little bit more cost effective at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And then one more tour around this facility right here, and I just had to focus in on this red and blue fish right here. I'm not quite sure, once again, what the name of this is. I'm not really that keen on African cichlids. And of course you got this Obi peacock right here. I do know the name of this one. But beautiful looking fish. I wish I had a tank for these fish. I would probably keep them. And of course in the upper left hand corner there's another beautiful fish right there, right in front of the price tag of what's in there. We have peacocks, haps, and mabunas, all male. And of course you have that pleco kind of laying down in there. And of course you got some fish food and some other stuff in there like t-shirts and whatnot. And of course you have one more tank of more cichlids. One thing I've noticed about Nolan's aquarium, he does have a lot of cichlids besides what this tank is, which is a black waterish tank with discus. Otherwise looks like colorful dinnerware plates that are just floating in water. That's what these discus definitely remind me of, just very, very colorful dinner plates. And of course you have this one shy little loner kind of heading behind the driftwood there. And of course you're going to see I believe that's a yo-yo loach back there. Yeah, I think that's a yo-yo loach. And then out of that room. And more fish in the hallway, just kind of in between rooms here. This is one of the tanks just as you exit the small little entryway room. And of course above this tank you did actually have some tanks with some plants. Talking to Nolan, he does have plans to actually expand his plant selection, which is going to be what he told me right in the center right there. And this is of course another room here with a nice little square cube tank right in the center there. And of course more and more cichlids. I love the color of African cichlids. It's just not one of those things I can keep right now, mainly because of size restraints. Some of the tanks I actually do have right now are shoehorned in. Otherwise I probably would be going to Nolan's aquarium and actually buying some of these cichlids I see.
I noticed you have a lot of your displays in these like just tiny rooms. Was that primarily what you wanted to do, basically show like how people would have it in their own home?
Yes, you can see, I'm sure you got a lot of the way that our tanks are set up on cinder blocks and wood. I made it very simple, very easy. Anyone can do this at home. I really wanted people to get a feel of fish that they can have in their own home, and something that they can do by themselves for sure.
And of course you have a multitude of cichlids in these tanks. These are probably younger looking ones. These are young dragon bloods, as the label states. Now one thing you are going to see in his room is, besides these cichlids that he does have for sale in these rooms, he also has some breeding colonies that are not for sale. Basically like that one down there, you kind of got a small glimpse of. Basically he does do a lot of breeding in his store. And right now I'm kind of focusing in on this cube in the center. I love the way this cube is. It just kind of stays right there in the middle, kind of draws your attention to it. Of course with the wonderful variety of cichlids that he has in there. And I kind of, when I was doing this, they kind of were just kind of following me around as I was doing this until they got bored a little bit. But I just had to film him. And of course this is another breeding colony that he does have. Like I said, he'll expand it on a little bit soon in the interview. This is a breeding colony that he does have in there. He does a lot of breeding here. And this is going to be the redfin boreali breeding colony that he has. And then above this is going to be more fish that actually has for sale. So it's a little bit of a mixture in these rooms. He has some cichlids for sale. He has some cichlids breeding, along with the other fish that he has, like some of the tetrads in the other room. And of course, one thing he has is a lot of pothos in these rooms. There's one right there. There's one in the corner there. Talking to him, he's it's not for sale. It's just stuff that he has for decoration. He wants to maintain a more tropical look in these rooms, which I'm digging. I'm liking how, especially that one over there in that corner over there, was vining across the boards. Of course, once again, more fish. And as we're going on, you'll see some female peacocks perhaps in this tank. So if you are actually looking to breed some of your cichlids out, you do have a source with Nolan here, where he will actually sell them to you, because they do have prices apparently. And another breeding colony they has set up, of course not for sale because he's trying to breed them in. And here's a part of the incubators that he does have. What are those? The egg tumblers, where he does have a variety of different cichlids kind of bouncing around in there at different stages. I will be zooming in a little bit better to actually see some of the different variety of stages that they're in. You have anywhere from like just little egg sacs all the way to like tiny fry that aren't exactly ready to be released. Those ones right there on the right are just about ready to be more free swimming, like those guys right there, but still probably not ready for the main tank yet.
Now, I see that you do have some like breeding projects, primarily also in the showroom.
Yep.
How many of these fish are primarily stuff that you actually bred?
A lot of the fish we have here are bred by me. I know a lot of local breeders. I know out-of-state breeders. I try my best to get as many of the fish we have here just from breeders. I want high-quality fish in this shop. So I would say maybe 60% of the fish here are from bred by me or by local breeders.
Awesome. Do you also distribute to other places as well?
Yes, we sell retail, we sell wholesale, I sell to several stores, definitely.
And of course, more fish. Now he also does have these clown loaches as well. I'm not sure if he breeds though, he just has them for sale. So it's just a variety of different I think those are for sale. I didn't quite see the name on that, but you might want to check with him on that. I know he does sell more than just cichlids, but his main specialty appears to be cichlids. And of course, these are some of the redfin barley eyes that he has. I'm assuming from his breeding colonies that he does have set up. And this is another tank of all males, some OB peacocks and some dragon bloods. Once again, some wonderful looking fish that I wish I had the tank to keep. And of course, this tank right here, right out exiting the door right there. This betta just really caught my eye. Very intriguing coloration on that. And this is, of course, I believe this one was another breeding colony that he actually has out on the showroom floor, if I'm not mistaken. Looking for the sign, which you'll probably see in a second, but yeah, he does have like these tanks, which are breeding colonies. This is a dragon blood breeding colony right here. And of course, more fish, red-tailed gourami and some peacock bass. And of course, a big giant pleca that's kind of back there. And more cichlids. And a shovel-nosed catfish that was swimming right by there. If I'm mistaken, please correct me in the comments below. But I think that was a shovel-nosed catfish that I did see. And this, of course, is another breeding colony of some cichlids. As you can see, there's one darker one. I believe that's probably the male, and the lighter ones are the females. But I'm not good at sexing this because I don't know much about that particular fish. But just by the way it's going, I believe that's how way it was. And there, of course, is another pothos in this room. And another tank. Now, these are some sulfur heads. This is another breeding colony that he does have. I love the coloration of the male in here. Very it stands out very well. Very beautiful male in there, which is probably why he's trying to breed these sulfur head peacocks in there. And of course, you got some Prochardes. I'm probably butchering that name like I normally do. Should have took Latin when I was in high school, but I took French. And of course, another tank. Now, the important part of this tank that I really caught notice was that little white tray up there. That actually does have some pothos once again in there. Basically water rooted, kind of growing in there. Guess more for the pothos theme that's going on. And of course, you have some sulfur head fry right here. I'm once again assuming that's from his breeding colonies that he has in here. I'm gonna guess that a lot of this fries that are smaller fish is probably from his breeding projects that he has. And once again, some more redfin barley eyes. And beneath the tanks right here, he does have aquascaping like rocks and some driftwood. And of course, I love the finnage of this arowana or Jardini. But I just love the finnage on that one. Very colorful. And walking out here, you have a nice little cichlid pond, which is basically a grow out. Of course, you have more pothos. I'm gonna really enjoy this aquarium fish store once all that pothos is growing out. It's gonna look wonderful. Now this is a pond that he does have in the showroom floor. This is a grow out for his breeding, the fish that he does breed. It's to basically make sure that they get larger so you can actually sell them quicker, or at least grow out quicker at least. Now this is going away from the cichlids. You have some roseline sharks in there, and I want to say those are some sort of rainbow fish. And of course you had go back to some more of the cichlids. And let's see what kind of, I forget the name of those rainbow fish that were down on the below one. Another pothos and some guppies right here. So he is expanding a little bit to some more other stuff. Now, of course, this is going into a special room. He doesn't allow a lot of filming back here. Primarily, this is a room that he does actually have some special breeding projects going in here. So I did respect his request not to focus in on any of the tanks, which is why I am only basically kind of just walking in here and strolling around. Now, of course, besides just being a breeding room, this is also where he does take fish to be quarantined. This is a breeding room slash quarantine room. So if he actually has some fish brought in that needs to be quarantined, this is where he keeps them, as well as any fish that he finds in his showroom that is sick. He brings them in here to makes them go back to health. That way he's not selling unhealthy fish. That's one thing you really don't want in a fish store, is selling unhealthy fish. Mainly because you're gonna want healthy fish. You're not gonna want to take them home and then basically make your fish unhealthy as well, which is probably a good case to actually have your own quarantine tank. And of course, this is another glance of the room here. Of course, you could probably maybe catch a glimpse of some of his special breeding projects if you look really closely, but I tried not to focus in on any of them, mainly because I didn't want to spoil anything and get people asking, okay, when are those available? And of course, this is back into the main showroom area, where of course you have tanks, you have another one in the center, and a bunch of products for sale. So that was my visit with Nolan at Nolan's Aquarium. Definitely come down in Santa Ana and check out his shop right here. Also follow him on Instagram as well as YouTube and Facebook. It's a wonderful place to check out. I know he focuses a lot on the big African cichlids, like these guys right here. Not something I really keep, mainly because I definitely don't have the tank size. But a lot of great fish. I talked to Nolan as well. He's going to get more into aquascaping as well. And he's also going to be getting some more community fish as well. But definitely it's a nice shop to actually come in, relax, kind of look around the place and check out the wonderful fish he has. He has a lot of breeding projects going on. It's a wonderful shop, so come in and check by. Anyways, as normal, keep researching, keep learning, and happy fish keeping. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
All right, thanks, Dave. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.